Hey. Alright, so first up we're going to do is look at a reference. References are like really important, especially since I'm not a professional, so I don't have like all that information in my head, but hey, even professionals use references, alright? So like, even if I was a professional, then I would, still use references. So depending on the size of your canvas, if it's really big, then your device might lag. But my device is okay, so, I'll just like make it kind of big, which is like 3,000 pixels. Then I do like this split screen mode. It comes with my phone, okay? So if you can't do it, maybe it's just your phone. And then I get my sketch brush, which I had to watch an ad for because I just didn't, purchase the pro version of Ibis Paint. Alright, so first off, we're seeing that, well, I can see it, but from this perspective, now we can't see it anymore. But I saw that the girl wasn't taking up half the screen, but she was a little lower than half. So we're just taking some really like messy sketch. The first sketch is always super messy. It's just like to figure out the overall like position, like some basic things, like okay, what's the position of this? What's the idea of like what you're drawing? So I basically stole that picture, borrowed, referenced, and then I made it a heart cloud instead of just a regular cloud because I am so creative. Alright, and now for our second sketch, we're going to start figuring out like the human. I'm not going to teach you guys anatomy right now because this is a video about sketching, not about anatomy. This is a video about how I sketch. Alright, and by the way, yes, I do more than one sketch. I do like 3, 4, sometimes like 5 sketches. There is no shame in doing 10 million sketches if you have to. Alright, so I'm just lowering the opacity of the first sketch, obviously, so I can see like what's actually going on. And a bird just flew by me. That was really cool. Alright, anyways. I decided not to do the arm thing since I wanted her to smile, so, I just chopped off her arm and gave her a new one. And now that little dot that I gave her, which can be mistaken as a third eye, is actually just a little dot to mark where her hair is going to be. I'm not going to recreate that photo. Instead, I'm going to show you guys a selfie of me. Well, it's extremely blurred and half cut off, so good luck. But yeah, I just took that so I could see a reference of my hair since, I need to see a reference of my hair in order to like draw me. And well, spoiler alert, this drawing ended up looking somewhat almost nothing like me. Aside from my beautiful iconic jacket. It's not iconic, but for me it is, because, I don't know. Alright, so I decided to make it like a little half the body since, I don't know, more of the arm seemed weird. So I bet you're wondering, where the heck is the wind coming from? Because her hair is blowing one way, but her jacket's blowing the other way. Well, the wind is coming from nowhere, but it's coming from everywhere. It doesn't make sense. Why does it not make sense? Because it doesn't have to make sense. It's pretty. Who cares? So now you see that I'm going to make a third sketch, or this is my fourth sketch. This is going to be the final sketch, which is why the lines are a little thinner, because I'm trying to like really figure out how I'm going to draw this, because these are going to be the guidelines for... I keep changing my reference back to like the selfies, to the pictures, to like other selfies. Alright, I don't really take selfies, they're only for reference, alright? So, to any of my siblings watching this, no, I do not take, selfies. I don't know, there's like some weird thing in the house, like, I don't know, selfies are illegal. Alright, so, you see that we're just cleaning up the sketch a little bit, because this is our final sketch. Your third sketch doesn't have to be your final one, but it's usually my final one. One sketch is for figuring out like the basic position of your character and the overall idea. The second one is a clearer image of that with like more like clear anatomy and such. And then the third last sketch is like the final sketch with more of like the clothes details and things like that. But it's a sketch, so I don't really add details exactly. Also, in my opinion, I don't know if most people think this, but it just occurred to me. In my opinion, sketching is literally the most important part. little amateur me from just a few months ago used to think, you know what, shading and lighting is the most important part, because you can cover up ugly anatomy with like pretty shading and lighting. Isn't that right? That is right, but it's also wrong, because your art's still gonna look wonky as heck, but you know, it's still gonna be pretty, but it's kind of gonna be ugly, but it's pretty. It's kind of like a pretty ugly in a way. If your anatomy is messed up, but your lighting and shadows is really beautiful. And I understand that a lot of the people following me are from the gacha community. The gacha community is made up of, well, most people that know how to shade and stuff, but they do not know how to draw. They know how to like shade and stuff, but they do not know how to like do anatomy. So I've been there before where my anatomy was a little wonky. I mean, of course I was there. It wasn't like born. Like, okay, gaga, hi mom. I'm like an art god. Like, I'm still not an art god. But, you know, I'm slowly making it there. I have faith and hope that I'll make it there. So, as you see, when I'm doing hair, I explained this in my how to draw hair tutorial, if anyone saw that, but it hardly got any views, so I would say that most people probably didn't see it. If you did see it, what you want to start off with is the big chunk of hair, as you see, like that huge one right there. And then we're going to go in with smaller and smaller details, like more strands, more locks, like more things of hair. Like we're starting off with one main shape and then kind of branching off of that. You see, one mistake that a lot of beginner artists and stuff do is they totally like skip sketching. I did this too. I skipped sketching. I would just like start making the line art. Like, look at me hacking the system. I'm just like skipping the sketching. Look at those fools waste their time on sketches. And then like my drawing would come out so like the anatomy was like so bad because I didn't, you know, have a sketch. I didn't have like guidelines, stuff like that. And now I'm just using the liquify pen to like edit little things because your sketch really like, I feel like it's seriously one of the most important things. So you're going to figure out the position of your character and everything like that, the expressions and such. Also, sometimes you don't even need line art, like you could just color your sketch if you want. But as you can see, my sketch is pretty messy, so yeah, I'm not really going to color that. Some people don't need clean sketches, they just make like the messiest sketch in the world, and then they have the most gorgeous line art. I do not understand that. So yeah, just make as many sketches as you possibly want. Make multiple sketches. And then you can go in later and like edit tiny things about it. So like the main point of the video is just to tell you guys you need a sketch. Even if you think you don't need a sketch, you need a sketch, okay? And also do multiple sketches. Like figuring out the gesture. Why is this such a weird sounding word? Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, dude. Alright, figuring out, you know, like the pose of your character and such. And now here, I'm doing like a little sketch on the background. That's always on a separate layer, and then like, you see I'm going in a little more for more detail, because I make these weird blob shapes, kind of representing clouds. And then I like go in more for like a little more detail to figure out like the actual shape of the clouds. And for this too, I do about like 2 to 3 sketches, you know. Multiple sketches is a good thing. Also, would you guys ever want me to do like a tutorial on skies and stuff? Because what am I saying? I need to actually learn how to draw skies before I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to show you how to draw something I have no idea how to draw. So yeah, I'll figure out how to draw skies and stuff, and then I'll show you guys that, because I feel like drawing your own backgrounds adds so much more value to the art. You have no idea how many heartbreaking times I had. And people were like, oh my god, you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm like, thanks. And they're like, oh my god, that background is so gorgeous. It's like, oh, I thought you guys were talking about like the subject. You're just talking about the background. It's like, yeah, I got the background off Google. And they're like, oh, nice drawing though. It's like, okay, dude. So also in sketches, you can also figure out like your background colors and your shading and stuff. I do not do this very often. I should do this more often because this is what a lot of people do. They figure out their colors and everything because, you know, sketching is like the planning, it's the foundation. So yeah, you're just gonna like figure out all your colors and stuff, the colors that go well together. Do you guys know anything about color theory? Because if you don't, then I would be pretty happy to make one of my fabulously low quality vids on like color theories. Of course, I don't know much about color theory myself aside from like some little basic things. Like they're seriously so easy. Alright, so yeah, I'll probably make a video on color theories. Alright, so going back to talking about sketching. As you see here, I'm just like figuring out the colors of the clouds and such like that. But I feel like sketching is a really underrated part of a lot of people's art. Like, I see a lot of my friends, they just like skip sketching and they're like, I have no idea why my art's so ugly. It's like you kind of just like, it's kind of like learning how to do a backflip before you learn how to walk. It's like you gotta learn how to do a sketch, like a nice decent sketch first before you start doing like coloring and stuff like that. Like sketching is seriously the most important part. Also, this is where you plan like your lighting and everything. I saw a lot of people on Instagram doing their sketch first. I'm kind of like, wow, I should do that. And after I started doing it, like my art's been getting a lot better because it's kind of wonky and like unplanned kind of when I do a lot of my drawings or like edits. A lot of it's unplanned and I don't really have like a vision for it. It's just so much better, less stressful when you deal with all that in the sketching stage. Like you have an idea and with all the lighting and stuff like that. And even if you do have an idea what the lighting is, it's kind of hard to apply that to a finished piece. So on your sketching stage, on your sketching stage, you're going to just figure out all your coloring and like lighting positions and such. Alright, so after this tutorial, I have no idea if I'm going to teach you guys color theory or anatomy. Probably anatomy or like color theory, probably both or something. I have no idea. But I have so many videos unlisted ready for you guys. So as you see here, I'm planning out the lighting first. And it just, like, see, I was going to do something to the neck. I'm like, no. Also, keep in mind, being like detailed and stuff doesn't particularly mean that your art is better. Because I see these professional artists, and the most amazing thing about a lot of them is they find beauty in simplicity. Like, their things can be so simple, like so simply colored. Before I thought that, oh, you know what, I really don't like studying anatomy and stuff, like it's hard and things. I enjoy coloring and lighting, so I'm just like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna skip the stuff that I don't like. And then when I did that, I came out with some cursed stuff, right? Like some weird looking stuff. Is like, that's good art? Like, is that, like, that's good art, but that's not good art. Like, that's good, but it was like so confusing because like the lighting and the shadowing, it's just like, mwah, beautiful, chef kiss. And then like the anatomy of it was kind of like, what is that? So yeah, don't forget to actually sketch and do multiple sketches at a time. First figure out like the position of your character and everything, the basic pose, and then slowly integrate more details. Alright, it's all about starting simple and then bringing more details later. It's really sad when people kind of just hop right into details. Alright, so just start simple and then, more details. Alright, thanks, and see ya.